Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Pros Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Oh, hold on, Pastor. What do we got going on here today? Hold on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Check that out.
All right, man.
I think we're live. You just play it off like that whenever you don't know if you're live, and you just kind of play it off.
That's right.
That's what I love about. We're out here in the elements, man.
Yeah, I know. It's nice.
It's a beautiful day here in Huntsville, Texas. We want to welcome all of you in, and let me do one little quick check here. It's a little bit different because we have to run equipment. You told me one time, you said, I love this little studio you have because you just show up and turn it on.
That's right.
We drug it up and showed up, so it was a little bit tougher this morning. But Kay Boning told me yesterday, don't have excuses.
That's right. Well, hey.
She said, pick up your oar, and there's an acronym between oar and bed, and it makes a lot of sense. And you know what? In fact, let me see if I can find. This is what it is. Here, we're going to start with this.
All right.
Above the line, oar, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. So that means you're a victor, or a victor. There's old Kyle Kreiner driving by. And we'll have some good interruptions here this morning too. It's
That's
good
okay.
People. Below the line, in bed, you got to get out of bed and pick up your oar is what this means.
All right.
So getting out of bed means getting rid of blame, excuses, and denial. You don't want to be the victim. So get out of bed, pick up your oar, and have ownership, accountability, and responsibility.
Man, I like that.
So there we go, man. We'll throw that up on the screen Sunday.
Yeah, we need a T-shirt.
Well, good to see you as we kick off our second annual Rays of Hope here at the H-E-B parking lot in Huntsville. Special show this morning. We'll also have interviews every hour throughout the day until 7 o'clock. We're here from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please come by as we're so excited to be able to give back to this community. So far, we've only had one person come by. And you know what's lucky for that person, because if nobody else comes in the next 12 minutes, he's going to be the automatic winner of jewelry valued at $200 from Edwards Jewelers.
Wow.
So if you'd like to get in on that raffle, it's only $20 to come by. That money goes to a great cause, helping 5 area nonprofits, 3 families affected by the recent flooding.
Yeah.
We'll throw in a limited edition Rays of Hope T-shirt. We have some bags, swag bags we're giving away. And with that cash donation, that's also going to put you in the running every hour, giving away jewelry. And then on top of that, Pastor, we're giving away we're giving away a grand raffle of $900 diamond earrings. And then if you give $30 or more, you're going to be entered into a pair of diamond earrings for $1,500.
Wow.
So come on out, be here today. But we are so excited, and we would love for you to come out. Last year we did this towards the end of July. We did it on a weekend. The response was tremendous. This year, our friend Zach at HEB said, man, the parking lot, if you ask anybody, the parking lot here is just flooded.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's on the weekends, you can't hardly get in and out of here. Zach, in fact, said they got some property as we look to our right. There, you look over and see Walgreens. Well, before the highway right there, I think that's 75 where it intersects here at 11th. They still have some property, so I'd love to build another parking lot over there. And so we cannot do this on Saturdays anymore. So we're doing it midweek, and we're doing it a little bit earlier. So we're hoping this year, doing it a little bit earlier and all that, will get even some more folks out here. So super simple process. All you got to do is drive by, just like Kyle Kreiner's doing right now.
All right.
You drive by, you donate, you get stuff, you give back, you feel good about the community.
That's what this community is always all about, is giving back. And I can't think of a better cause than why we're out here today. Helping out a few families that have been devastated by the storms that have recently affected our community, and this community always rallies around those in need.
Tough break there for the first guy that came by. Second guys came by, so now your chances are at 50% of winning. So we appreciate Kyle coming by this morning. He's going to pick up a swag bag, a T-shirt. We appreciate his donation. Pastor, it's been good, man. Jason, it's good to have you. I always get confused. I don't know if I should call you Pastor, Jason. I feel kind of disrespectful just calling you Jason.
No, you just call me Jason.
Or Jay Bay.
Yeah, go ahead. You got my rap together yet? I'm waiting on it.
We don't have that in yet. Hey, as we get started, though, we do want to welcome you in. I know we had that intro about Raise a Hope, but we want to welcome you in. And as we get rolling here on this Thankful Thursday, First Baptist with us, and Jason Bay, it's always an honor to have you. Last week we had Alan.
Yeah.
And, man, Alan rocked it. It was he did a great job.
So. Yeah, I was listening to y'all on the way down. Last week, my wife and I went down to Galveston for our anniversary, 21 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so we got a chance to get away, which we rarely do, but I got down there for a couple of days, so it was good to get away, and it was good to listen to y'all. Y'all did a great job.
We, Phyllis Dillard has been at the church for so long, running the FLC, and she does such a wonderful job. And she was so thankful. I was so thankful to her. She had given us a little dinner last night on behalf of the church, and Bridget and I and our family really appreciated that. And but I was joking around with Alan last week about Phyllis, because Phyllis is the one, I guess, who he first connected with.
Yep.
And he had said, "Hey, Jason, 1 second here. Can y'all? I'm going to take a photo of y'all. We told you it's going to kind of be this is how the show's going to be.
That's right. That's right.
We're just taking a quick picture here, Jason and Kyle. Appreciate you guys very much. But we were joking around about Phyllis, and we said, and we love our police department here in Huntsville. I got to know, Sergeant Lunsford when he was here, and he did such a great, our police chief rather. And there's been other folks. They've done a great job. But I said, I said Huntsville has the PD, but we got the PD at the FLC, and that's Miss Phyllis Dillard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it goes down pretty good with PD. We got the PD. We got our own watch.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Well, what have you? I know you said you guys had went on that 21st anniversary little getaway, and I was gonna say before you were telling me it's like every time y'all have something planned, one of the kids gets sick, but this time all is well, right?
Yeah, all was pretty well. As good as could be expected.
No illness this time, right?
No illness, but you always got to expect little minor hiccups along the way. Last Thursday, we were headed down to Galveston, and there was a major accident there in Spring, and explosion, and we sat there for. Thankfully, the guy that was involved, my wife was looking at it, and he was okay. But it was a 18-wheeler had turned over and exploded there, and they shut down 45. We sat there for an hour and a half there in the middle of 45 waiting to get down there. But we finally made it and had a good time. It rained pretty much the whole time we were down there, but hey, it was nice just to get away. I told my wife, I said, just imagine that you're those tapes you listen to or CDs, whatever, music that has white noise in the back, relaxing
we
sounds.
Go to sleep to that every night.
Yeah, all right. So this would be perfect for you because it was raining. We could hear the waves coming, and I said, it's just just imagine you're you're listening to one of those white noise. It definitely was that. It was nice. So we had a good time.
I was going to say while you were waiting on traffic to clear out, and again, thankfully everybody was okay. I was going to ask you if you put the white noise on in, like just start imagining that we're there. You know?
Yeah, peaceful vibes.
To go ahead and get. Because have you ever showed up? This brings up a good discussion. And this is every day we try to find some inspiration, and and I'm guilty of this, and I'm trying to do a better job. But don't let something first thing in the morning that may be negative affect the rest of your day.
That's right.
And
yeah.
especially with children. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but kids are kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you got to hold it together. But internally, let's be honest, you're like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, in those situations, I'm just kind of like, man. And I feel like that's when the enemy attacks. Because I remember telling myself, oh, today's going to be a bad day. And you don't want to say that.
Nah. Today's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's a wonderful day today.
Yeah. No, you can't. You got to just have a bigger mindset of what's going to happen and really focus on those things that you can control.
Have you ever had that, though, where, and then in your mind, you're like, oh, this is how it's going to be today, and then you had to, catch yourself and try to redirect it?
Many, many times.
I wanted to ask you this, too, just, for me being a dad, and you're a dad, obviously, and Father's Day's coming up here soon.
Yeah.
We're so thankful, and I wanted to say briefly, I just so appreciate everybody we had so many more messages yesterday, and I'm so thankful that so many folks were sharing. My dad's friends, as you get older, you start losing a lot of friends. My dad lost a lot of his really close friends, but there were still a lot of people that he made an impact on, and I got a message, even on Facebook this morning from a guy I hadn't heard from in a long time. His name's Paul, and he said, hey, friend, I'm saddened by the news of your dad. He said he was 1 in a million. I met him at Chili's, and we would talk and talk. He would come into Sonic, and at this time, Paul ran the Sonic in Georgia. He's one of the main managers at the Sonic in Georgetown. He said he would come to Sonic and park in the same stall all the time. Did y'all ever have the cool side of Sonic growing up? Did you ever? Was this a thing?
Yeah, we did have that. We would cruise Sonic. That was the only thing to do in Huntsville back in the day.
In Georgetown, we had this thing where you had to park on this one side because that was the cool side.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started chuckling when I said that because it said your dad would always park in the same stall, and I would always answer in my radio voice. And this was Paul, and he has this voice, and he would come over the loudspeaker, and they called him Remy. That was his nickname. And so he would say, Remy, is that you? He said, my dad always ordered 2-foot-long cheese conies, and I thought about him a couple of weeks ago. I was wondering if he's still around. I'm saddened. But, man, it's those kind of messages that it's just so incredible and so thankful. I'm so thankful for so many good people, and I love those stories.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's the thing. You got to hold on to that peace and that hope, and and that's why I think it's so important that when you have a relationship with the Lord, it's not easy, but it does make the grieving process a lot easier because you know that you're going to reconnect with that person again one day.
Absolutely, and there's I told you this earlier in the week. There's nothing worse than losing your dad. I mean, you just have that special connection. And I remember when I lost my father, weeks and months later, I would want to pick up the phone and ask him a question about something that I was going through, and you'll never. Those memories will pop back into your head from time to time about little things that he did, and those memories will stay with you. So I'm praying for you, brother, and we love you.
Well, I love y'all too. When my mom called, sometimes when a phone call rings, you know what it is, and I knew because my mom. I told her, I said, Mom, please call me anytime. I'm your son, and we talk every day almost, but she always waits until the evening till we talk. And I said, Mom, if you want to call me during the middle of the day, call me. Well, she called me, and that was that Tuesday. I was waiting on a package to come in at the house, and I'm kind of glad that, I was there at the house. And the first thing my mom said, she said, are you at home or are you at work at church? I said, I'm at home. She goes, I got to tell you. I said, Mom, I know. But, there was such joy in the conversation I had with my mom, and, getting to talk to my uncles yesterday and my aunt, and my buddy Ed Watto out of New Waverly called me, and he said, man, he goes, it's so neat how life works and how those connections work, because Ed had said, I lost my dad a number of years ago, and he goes, but whenever I saw you say something about your dad, it made me immediately think of my dad. And, we're going to have Father's Day coming up before too long, and we're going to have a special recognition of all the dads out there, and we want to recognize them. But I did want to share one quick memory about my dad, and if you're comfortable sharing maybe one with yours, you know. One of my favorite memories with my dad, we had this old Ford F-150 pickup. The thing was beat up. It was one of these really cool trucks that you could drive through brush and tear it all up, and nobody would notice because it was already scratched up. You know, those kind of vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And we had a dog named Hooch. Now, you know what Hooch is. You know, Hooch is a particular thing that some people partake in. Well, he named our dog Hooch after Turner and Hooch, the movie with who was that? Forrest Gump dude, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Well, our dog Hooch would always make these noises, and he was like a Shar-Pei collie mix, and he'd always make noises like, rah, rah, rah. Well, that truck sounded like that. And I remember as a young boy sitting next to my dad because, you know, we had 5 in our family, and that truck was kind of small. It didn't have the full seat in the back, you know, it just had the small seat. So if my mom was riding with us, I would sit in the middle. Well, my dad would always grab my knee because it was a stick shift. Manual transmission, and he'd grab my knee and he'd go, and it was just, I remember that because he'd always joke around. And so we started calling that old truck Hooch because of the noise that it made when he'd shift the gears, man. So maybe a memory, if that's okay, Jason.
Sure,
a memory you have, man.
Well, my dad, he was a great man. We lived at Cypress, and his folks lived up in Walker County or Grimes County, the edge of on the border there, and he and I would always come from Cypress up to Walker County to feed my grandpa's cows. And I remember we would drive up here, it'd be in the wintertime, we'd drive up here, and they had those old silos, and we would mix our own feed out there. They'd buy the stuff, the corn and cottonseed meal, and we'd mix that together. And I remember many long days and evenings when he and I would be out there mixing feed and feeding the cows, and many lessons that he taught me out on the farm there. And he taught me how to drive a tractor. I drove a tractor before I learned to drive a truck, and he taught me a lot about life, just in those times where it was just he and I. You know, we spent a lot of time there, and I always think about those days. A lot of good memories just there. I'll never forget one time we were out there, and we would always burn the sacks after we would pour the sacks into the mixer to mix it.
These are like cloth, not plastic sacks, right? These
are just like
barley sacks.
Yeah, you know, burnable sacks, just like feed sacks today. You know, we'd pile them together and we'd burn them. But so I would do that after we got done. We'd pile them up and make and burn them. And I remember one time I piled them up, and it was too dry to burn, but I didn't know any better because I was just a young kid, and so I piled them up there and set them on fire, and I mean, it took off. The fire just went just through the dead grass that was there, and it was just like, and I'll never forget the feeling I felt, how I was like, oh my goodness. But it went so fast that it just was like a flash. It just burned really quick, the grass, and it burned itself out. But I use that as an illustration a lot of times about how quickly things can change. You know, one little incident can set off a whole chain of events that you can't stop. And that's kind of life, isn't it?
Were y'all a natural Christmas tree or a fake one?
No, we would always go cut down a Christmas tree, and we still do today. We'd go cut down. Now, back in the day, we'd go find one in the pasture. I tried to do that not too long ago. We went and cut one down, and it was an old like a half cedar tree. And we put it up in the house, and it was just full of sap, and sap was everywhere. And I told Kim, never again. But we go to a Christmas tree farm and cut one down, but I don't cut one in the pasture anymore.
Was it like the Lampoon movie where you're reading at night? You know, remember that?
Exactly.
His hand gets stuck to the magazine, and then it gets stuck to the lamp, stuck to her hair.
That's exactly how it was. We had sap everywhere from that cedar tree.
I mentioned that because one of my most favorite, even to this day, you know, what do they call, like, I'm not a pyro, you know, or whatever they say, but, you know, fire is pretty neat thing.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps us warm, cooks our food, and it's good around a campfire. But one of my favorite things of this day to throw in a fire is a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And when you talk about whoosh, and it's like, man, you want to talk about like here today, gone tomorrow, that's a Christmas tree. I mean, within 10 seconds. And we had about 3/4 of an acre. It was a really unique piece of property that we had in Georgetown. Loved our place. We love it here, obviously, but that's the one thing that I do miss about what we had in Georgetown was we lived on a cul-de-sac. It's a very unique trapezoid. Obviously, on a cul-de-sac, it's always kind of a trapezoid lot. The guy behind us owned 13 acres. It was in a 100-year floodplain, so they were never going to build on it. And we had deer everywhere. It's kind of like out at Elkins Lake here, but it was a lot older, so there was more time for more growth. Trees just covered the place everywhere. And we didn't have piney wood trees, obviously. We had oak trees out there.
Right.
Oak wilt was a big problem, though. And if you don't know what oak wilt is, go look it up. It's a terrible tree disease. It just kills the trees. But we had all these oak trees, and I built a fire pit in the back there. And that was our favorite thing to do. And one of the first times Bridget and I had a date, I guess you could say, that was our first date was actually, I think we went to a haunted house for Halloween, and I was laughing. The people there that were trying to scare you, I was laughing because I was like, this isn't even scary.
Yeah.
Everyone else, oh, and I was laughing. Bridget's like, oh, that's why she's with me. She thought I was a tough guy, But we were out there. I'll never forget. We're out there burning stuff, and I had this Christmas tree, and that thing just lit up, and the flames went so high it started to catch that tree up top on fire.
Oh, man.
Well, there was a rule in Williamson County where sometimes I think rules are just kind of made up, or they're old rules or laws that aren't enforced until they need to be enforced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I guess a neighbor had called in because we were out there, and it was nothing bad. We were all sitting around just talking, and we had that fire going, and I had just thrown an old sawhorse into it. So those were, I was doing some construction. My dad taught me how to build sawhorses to use temporarily, and I had one that I wasn't using, so I just threw it in the fire. Well, before we know it, coming again, keep in mind, cul-de-sac, guy behind me had 13 acres. All of a sudden, this shadow with the flashlight comes wandering through, and then another one. It was a Williamson County Sheriff's Department. And I was like, man, I did not do anything to remotely get in trouble. Apparently, we were talking too loud, and it upset one of the neighbors back there around the corner. We knew all the neighbors. They were all very nice. I mean, they would come over and talk to us as well. And so he starts shining around, and he had and I'm not disrespecting because I love our law enforcement. Don't ever get me wrong. But he's sitting there shining a flashlight. And I said, do you need to shine the flashlight in a fire? I mean, isn't it bright enough? I didn't say that, but I was thinking that. And he looks at me and goes, son, we had a noise complaint a little too loud over here. I said, well, yes, sir, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it. And what it was something like a spider had crawled on Bridget, and she was screaming. That's what I remember. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So someone, and I get it, somebody thought somebody was in trouble. So he comes over, Jason, and he sees all this fire, and he goes, well, when did you put that wood in there, the sawhorse? I said, well, just a few minutes ago. He goes, you can't put in, and this was a law apparently, you can't put in kindling in a fire after the sun sets. It's like some old law in Williamson County that this guy dug up out of nowhere. And I didn't want to be disrespectful and be like, where did you find that one from?
Right.
But have you ever heard of such a thing?
I've never heard of
He goes,
such a
yeah,
thing.
you can't put kindling in the fire after the sun sets. It's just, out here, it's just too dangerous, and that's a law out here. And I'm very respectful, Jason. This was years ago. In your 20s, you're allowed to have some leeway once in a while, right?
Right.
And so I literally picked that thing up while it was burning, and I threw it out of the fire. And I said, is that okay? He looked at me and goes, well, I guess so. And he said, y'all just keep it down, and he left. So anyways, I don't know why I wanted to share that.
Good fire stories.
Yeah. Well, we got a great one lined up here. Again, welcome in. I know we've been on for almost half an hour. Jason Bay joins us from First Baptist. So great to have him today as we're out here at the HEB parking lot, by the way. Please come see us. Hourly raffles going away. We had 3 in the first hour. I think we've raised pretty close to $70 already in that first hour. Our goal here is $10,000 in food and product. So please come by, bring canned goods, non-perishable food items at the HEB parking lot. We'll be out here until 7 o'clock today. We'll have Sam Houston women's basketball here from 11 to 1. If you don't have lunch plans, come on and get a hot dog.
Right.
We're going to have free hot dogs today from 11 to 1. So come on out. Big shout out to Guardian Defense, Jason Thompson. He brought the grill. He did it last year. He helped me set up this morning. We got over here about 6:15, 6:20. Got everything set up, and we're so excited to be out here this morning. We'll have our friends from Tomorrow's Promise on in just a bit, and will interact with us a little bit here in just a few moments as well. But we got a great show lined up. Big thanks to our friend Paul Oley, the Gallery, for all of your custom framing, photography, and more. It's Paul Oley, the Gallery, located at 1201 University. Also, a huge shout-out to Elliott's Jewelers and Elliott Herzlich. He's one of our major contributors to this event here. He did it last year, did it again this year. And come on out. $20 will get you a limited edition Raise a Hope t-shirt, a swag bag, and also to enter into that hourly raffle. food product valued at $20 or more, including clothing. If you come by and bring that, that'll also get you a T-shirt and a swag bag. But the cash or credit card donations, that'll get you in the running for the beautiful jewelry pieces. By the way, it's got some Bluebell homemade ice cream.
All right.
Are you a Bluebell?
Yes, I am.
Which flavor?
I kind of just like the homemade vanilla.
Plain
but
vanilla.
that cookie two-step's pretty good, too.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Do you do the two-step when you're eating it?
No, I don't have time for that.
We'll take a quick break. Stay with us. More to come. Hey, keyword. We're still going to continue our keyword today, by the way, and it is hope. You can text in the keyword hope along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. Again, that number 936-339-0139. I've got a Cafe Texan gift card that we'll give to you today. And you know what? We'll throw it in one of those swag bags. So we'll get you a swag bag and a gift card courtesy of Cafe Texan. Again, text in the keyword hope along with your name. 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. Our show's here on Thursdays brought to you by our great friends at FBC Huntsville. Come see us, 9:30 Bible study, 10:45 service. Jason will get you out of there by noon. If it's 12:02,
right.
he'll look and say, all right, we got to go. So it's only been like 1 or 2 times I think we went over noon, right?
That's right.
Are you kind of a stickler for that, or is it just kind of?
I try to. I had a seminary professor said, if you can't say it in 20 minutes, you can't say it in 40 minutes.
Let me look at our time here real quick. Did I say it yet? Hey, brother, 27 minutes. I'm over. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come. It's your show on a special edition on this thankful Thursday of Good Morning Huntsville. Got to listen at your national news. Words from our sponsors. We'll be back right after this.
USA News, I'm Tim Berg. The man who sold the gun to Hunter Biden spent some time on the stand in his federal gun trial in Delaware. The president's son is accused of illegally buying and possessing a gun while being addicted to drugs in 2018. A report in the Wall Street Journal suggests President Biden has been showing signs of slipping behind closed doors, adding he appears slower when holding discussions with lawmakers. Friend and longtime Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons refutes the article in an interview on Fox News, adding it didn't include some important information.
They didn't use quotes from those of us who serve with President Biden, who know him, who have had the opportunity up close and in personal in meetings in the White House or in events publicly or privately to give affirmation that he is sharp, he is engaged, and he is commanding.
3 House committees have officially sent criminal referrals to the Justice Department alleging both President Biden's son Hunter and brother James lied to Congress when they sat for closed-door interviews. The committee chair claims it was all a calculated effort to shield President Biden from their impeachment inquiry. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Republican Jason Smith from Missouri says no one is above the law.
Hopefully, the Justice Department will act accordingly and make sure that Hunter Biden's held to the same standard that any other American would be held to.
A widespread heat wave is baking millions of Americans in the desert Southwest. Temperatures in Phoenix and Las Vegas could reach 110 degrees on Thursday. Temperatures remaining in that 105 to 110 degree range for Friday and Saturday, with the heat only expected to break on Sunday. You're listening to USA News.
The inventor and CEO of MyPillow is always looking for ways to solve everyday problems. Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? It's basically a towel that's leaving you out to dry. That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. I know, it's mind-blowing. Towels that actually dry you. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. They come in a variety of colors, and right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the radio listener special. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and they have a 60-day money-back guarantee. To receive this amazing offer on the 6-piece set of MyPillow towels, just go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special and enter promo code USA or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code USA.
Here we grow again. Tomorrow's Promise is excited to announce our third location to better serve the families of Walker County and surrounding areas. At Tomorrow's Promise, we are more than just childcare. We pride ourselves on partnering with parents and creating a place where every child is respected, loved, and nurtured in the highest quality environment. See what makes us the perfect fit for your child and their needs. Schedule a tour and learn more about Montessori.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
All right, Huntsville, back at it now. Time is 8:15. If you had to be at work at 8 o'clock, well, good news. You probably don't have a job. Better news is you got time to come by Raise a Hope now. So come on by. We'll be out here till 7 o'clock tonight. I know it's a Thursday. Many folks are working and staying busy, but we want you to come out today and be a part of this great fundraising effort. We did it last year, raised almost $10,000 in cash and product donations, was able to bless Good Shepherd Mission and our friends over at Safe House. Care Center of Huntsville's really want to help them out as well. And so if you could, bring by diapers. We're talking newborn diapers all the way up to 12 months. Baby wipes are really important as well. Lotions. No potions though, so no, lotions, but not potions. So come on out, be a part of it today. Cash donation as well. We're going to be out here until 7 at the HEB Huntsville parking lot. But hey, check this out. Our friend Josie Stowers from Tomorrow's Promise Montessori School. Jason, you've never been on when Josie's here, but her last name, we were joking. We said it has like this prestige to it because it's Stowers. And so we imagined that Josie probably had like this castle that you remember this, and we actually generated with an AI a castle that said Stowers on it.
It was really nice.
Well, welcome back, Josie. How you doing?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Great. You're
Wonderful.
going into how many months now? You've been there over Tomorrow's Promise? Are you closing on half a year already?
Yes, actually, it's really flown by. I didn't realize that until just now, but yes, 6 months.
Wow. Well, you're handling a lot of the marketing and community outreach. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
By the way, when folks come today for Raise of Hope and they pick up a swag bag, Tomorrow's Promise has a couple of things in there to let you know about their upcoming events. But Josie, before we get started, just let us know how have you been doing? What have you been up to?
I have been doing great. We've been planning a lot for the September event. Lasso Your Imagination, Rev Up Your Imagination, and Jump Into Your Imagination. So it'll be a 3-part event. So it's been crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. We're getting a lot of cool new things added for this year.
Is there any two-stepping that's going on at the Lasso Your Imagination this year?
There will be. You can two-step if you want to, but there will not be two-steppers provided this year. Two-steppers. Square dancers, I think, is the correct.
Well, I brought this up because Jason a while ago I was asking, are you a Bluebell guy? And he goes, absolutely. He said, plain vanilla, but I also like the two-step.
The cookie two-step, yeah.
So you and Cam ought to go out, lasso your imagination, and y'all can do the cookie two-step.
That would be funny.
I think that would probably be pretty embarrassing.
You're like, pass on that one. Joseph, such an important event, though. Lasso Your Imagination helps to raise funds for the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, those books that go out to over 1,000 children here in our community now throughout Walker County. And that's what we're doing today, because I know that event that y'all have raises funds. Also, the Run With Your Imagination that y'all just had helps to raise funds, but there's still a pretty big deficit, and that's why we wanted to help out as well. It's not cheap to send out 10 or 1,000 books a month to children.
No, it's not. And we noticed yesterday that we had a big jump in the children who have graduated the program. It went from around 830 to, I think we're at 897 now that have graduated from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Wow. And I think whenever Rick and Kay were on yesterday, we were talking about, she had said like over the course, I think it's since 2018, and Kay, I don't want to get the numbers wrong, so if I am, I apologize, but she said I think it was over 40,000 books have been sent out now overall.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
40,000 books. I did want to ask Jason from a parent's perspective, you know, I've learned from Kay and Tomorrow's Promise how important it is, the literacy and reading to children early on. You guys have had some experience with that. You know, maybe highlight you as a dad and Kim as a mom, just how important it is for children to be around books.
Oh, man, I can't think of a more important thing to teach your children how to read and to give them an early start in their education than to read with them and to provide for them books. And it's just something magical about being able to take a book and open it up and to see the pictures. And even though my daughter, she can't read, she likes to pretend that she can read. And they say that's an important part of education, is even before they can read, is be able to flip through the book and explain what's going on in the pictures and whatnot. But our children all have the opportunity to have books and books read to them, but I know not all children have that opportunity, and that's why something like this is so important.
It is an early education from 0 to 5 years old, free books. All you got to do is sign up if you're a legal guardian or parent of these children, and it's so important. We just got another book like Tad the Dad. It was something about a frog, and you know, I was like, how appropriate, because you know we've been mourning my father, and then I'm reading a book about, and it just kind of it warmed my heart the other night reading that to Braylon. Because I was like, you know, this is what it's all about.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It was really, and it was Caden's book, by the way.
Oh.
But I was like, I'm going to read it to Braylon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was pretty cool. Well, Josie, it's such an important opportunity for childhood literacy. You know, that reading element, as Pastor was saying too, is so important. You know, maybe highlight a little bit more over these 6 months what you've learned through this process. Because I know coming in, you're like, okay, we're going to do some marketing. But you're really passionate about the mission that Kay has. By the way, Tomorrow's Promise is a 501c3 nonprofit. But maybe talk a little bit what you've learned over these last 6 months.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I've learned so much. The biggest thing for me I didn't know is you saying your daughter doesn't read yet, but you reading to her and her pretending to read. That just reading to your child for 15 minutes a day adds, I think, 3 million words to their vocabulary. There's a 3 million word difference between a child who doesn't have books in the home to a child who's read to for just 15 minutes a day.
Wow.
Yes. And so that can cause, when they have that difference, it can cause an 18-month age gap. And it's really hard for teachers to bridge this gap whenever they're starting school. So making sure that children have the books before starting school is so important, because it can really help bridge that gap, and then children aren't getting left behind.
That's an important part.
You were talking earlier, Jason, about how your daughter flips through the book, and it's funny because Braylon, she will go to the pages and she will say, it says, she'll go, it says the puppy wanted the treat. And it's really cute when she's done. And then sometimes I'll tell Braylon, like, don't do that. That'll make Daddy angry. And so she's looking at this one, and the puppy looks like he's angry. And so she's reading it. She goes, it says, no, don't do that. It'll make the puppy angry. And I'm sitting there. It's so cool how children's little brains start firing off on all cylinders.
Yes.
You know, and it's, I guess, you know, we were talking a lot about dads today, even though it's not Father's Day. We'll have a special segment for Father's Day here in a couple of weeks. But, you know, from your perspective, Jason, how cool is it to just see, you know, so many different personalities?
Yeah.
And what's been maybe some of the most exciting things for you with especially little children as you've watched your children grow up?
Oh, man, there's been so many stories and so many things that we laugh about. But thinking of books, I remember when my son, my second to oldest son, he went to kindergarten for the first time. They went to the library, you know, and he got the chance to look at all the books and pick out a book. And we still laugh about this today. So when he comes back home, he has this book, and the name of the book is something about Hecate Peg. It's about this evil witch that eats children.
Oh, goodness gracious, man.
He brings his book home, and it literally is, I mean, it's way too advanced. And he's unpacking his stuff, and he's getting it out, and he's fixing to read it. And, you know, he can't, it's way too advanced for him. He can't read it. And he gets so mad because he can't read the book. You know, he wants to read it, but he can't read it. So we read it to him, and then we get to the story, and I'm thinking, where did this book come from? You know, it has all this evil witch that eats children, and so we laugh about that today. And Heckety Peg, that was a great memory we had.
That one is definitely not in the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe we can add it. We get enough donations today, we'll add it.
Coming up this month, the witch that eats children. Perfect for your 1-month-old child.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were thinking.
Wow. Well, Josie, highlight a little bit more about these events coming up this year. They're coming up for Lasso Your Imagination. It's really exciting this year because y'all are also going to put on a car show. You're doing some other stuff, bounce houses for the children.
Yes.
It's really neat. So let us know more about that.
So from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on September 14th, we're adding a day event to our Lasso Your Imagination, which normally had just been a barbecue dinner in the past. But this year from 9 to 4, we're doing Jump Into Your Imagination Kids Zone, and Jump Around Moonwalks is bringing a bunch of their big inflatable things for children ages 3 to 14. And the entry is only going to be $10 per child, and you can go in with your child for free. And then the car show is going to be free for all attendees, and then we're going to have vendors and artisans and food trucks. So it'll be a lot of fun. Come out and shop and just enjoy it, eat some food. And we'll have shade. We will have shade. It's in September, but we're going to have good shade. So,
are the bounce houses suitable for guys like Jason and I before the children get in there, that we could go in there and see if we can get those things going?
Sumo
you might
wrestle.
have to run that by Chris, but he might be okay with that.
Hey, Miss Paula, can we take a picture of you holding that up real quick? Yeah, that in the bag. Or as we used to say in Fargo, the bag. So, it's all right. All right, Miss Paula is here, and we're going to get a photo of Paula. This is the, we have these monikers for folks in town, and I don't know if we've came up one with Paula yet. I'd almost say like the jokester of Huntsville, Paula, if you're ever having a down day and you just need to be cheered up with some good old-fashioned jokes, you just go by and see Paula. I don't know where she pulls this stuff from, especially the chamber breakfast. If you've never been to the chamber breakfast and Paula Armstrong is there, man, you will start rolling.
Yes.
with what she needs to have a show at Old Town Theater.
You can laugh and cry or cry. It's better to laugh.
That's right. That's
See
right.
you, Paula. God bless you. Paula Armstrong coming by. So she has entered into our 8 a.m. hour for some jewelry. She's in the jewelry raffle. So right now, yeah, I think she's got a 100% chance of winning right now. So Paula may be the winner at 8 a.m., but she came by, made a donation. We appreciate her support. Brought in some canned goods as well. So that's so wonderful. We appreciate her. Well, Josie, I know, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I know those events are so important. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, coming up in September, and you can go to tomorrowspromise.info for more information.
Yes, and I also just did a new website specifically for those events, and it's called unleashyourimaginationorg.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Kyle Kreiner joining us this morning. He said that Paul is the town jester. She may like that, I saw her and Johnny Mac yesterday. That's her husband, and they every holiday season. It doesn't matter. Any holiday, and we're talking 4th of July, they have about 50 blow-ups they put. Have you ever seen this, Jason? I'm going to have to show you.
I don't think I've seen it.
They put blow-ups in their yard of every holiday, and they just collect them. And especially at Christmas, it's a whole Christmas wonderland.
Village out there, huh?
Village, it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Steph Valley's coming by from Magnolia Kennel, bringing some donations. So, boy, we just love these folks that just give back to our community. And just like Tomorrow's Promise, giving back to children 0 to 5 years old. Josie, I did want to mention one more thing. Community involvement is so important, and that's why you guys are here today, not only as a benefactor of this event, but it's something that Kay has been so passionate about. Can you highlight just why being involved in the community is so important for Tomorrow's Promise and the impact that being involved has?
Mm-hmm. We love to be involved in anything and everything that we can be involved in. The importance of it, just helping others, do to others as you want them to do to you, is how I feel about it. And maybe you can go your whole life and help everybody, and maybe you won't get any help, but it feels good.
That's
At the end of the day, you know that you're doing what God wants you to do.
That's right. That's
Love
right.
that.
And that's what matters.
The golden rule.
Yes.
Love that, Josie. Well, we appreciate you, and thank you for being here and hanging out with us.
Thank
Can
you
you
for
stay
having
for a
me.
little bit with us?
I sure can.
All right, perfect. Well, we gave Josie a task. We said, hey, get on that phone, start blowing it up, telling
Yep.
people to come over here to raise
I
the
think
hope.
I got a response.
She sent out 700 text messages already.
All right.
So new record coming up here. You have to beat Josie's 700 text message record. So, well, we appreciate you, Josie. Thank you for being here again. Tomorrow's prom. We take
Thank
our
you for
children
having
there.
me.
We love what they do, and our children are thriving being at Tomorrow's Promise for all of your child care. It's not a daycare. I like what Kay says, JC. She said it like this. Like, daycare is a place where you just take your dog to live. I don't want my children to just live. I want them to be alive. And they come to life when they go to Tomorrow's Promise. In fact, my little girl wants to be a gardener now. Like that. So we built a flower garden.
Yeah.
Because of Tomorrow's Promise. She keeps talking about, and then she counted to 10 in Spanish.
Oh,
Miss
my
Gloria
goodness.
taught her, 2 years old, and she just out of nowhere, Jason, she goes, uno, dos, tres. And I was like, what? I said, who taught you that? She goes, Miss Gloria. So we appreciate Tomorrow's Promise. Come out here, say hi to Josie. She'll be here for a little bit longer. And we know that many of you are working, but schedule your lunch hour to come out here. Lunch on us today. Can't ever beat a good old beef hot dog, Well, I don't know if it's beef, but I think some of the leaves may have got mixed in with it behind us back here. I'm just kidding, man. We'll take a quick break. Opportunity again to text to win this morning. We're giving away $25 gift card to Cafe Texan along with the swag bag from Raise a Hope. All you got to do is text in the keyword HOPE along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come. This is your show. It is Good Morning Huntsville here on a Thankful Thursday. Stay with us.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Back at it here, 8:34 as we continue on. 52 minutes and 12 seconds into Good Morning Huntsville on a thankful Thursday. Jason Bay. Oh, man, I wanted to do it. Jason Bay here on the show with us.
All right.
Have you heard that song?
I haven't. I'm waiting for you to bring it up.
It's one of those that I got to be careful of because have you ever went to YouTube like showing somebody something and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't know it was about to say that.
Right.
I've learned in the broadcasting world to not do any of that unless you're 100,000% sure that it's okay to play. Because, I mean, have you ever watched those videos on YouTube and they seem real calm and tranquil, and then all of a sudden it's like it flashes to some screen and there's a guy like, whoa, and it just makes you jump. Yeah, so I'll find it, and then next week we'll have that on. It'll be
the intro.
It'll be your intro song. So
that's awesome. That's exactly what I need.
I didn't tell you this. Voice cloning, I was messing around one day, and I deleted it because I didn't want to get in any trouble. It wasn't anything bad, but I'd taken like 15 seconds of your voice, and I was going to joke around with you, and I was going to do it on the show, and I never did it, but it was you, and it sounded almost identical to you.
Well, that's a great excuse that I can use if somebody claims I said something that I can always just say, well, no, that was AI. That was probably Rob.
What I'm thinking is on a Sunday, We'll go to Advantage Specialties. I'll get them to do a really cool cutout cardboard of you, and then you just type up your sermon. I'll play it through AI, and we'll have you there on the stage for 20 minutes, all right?
That's perfect.
So people may not come back, but it'll be all right. So, well, Jason, it's your time to shine, my friend. This is your segment. I'm sorry I took it over from you. What do you got? What do you got today?
I got some interesting thoughts. This is news that you can use, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so first thing that I wanted to talk to you about, Rob, is actually it's your segment because I get to host it, but I get to bounce things off of you to see what you think about them. But, you know, culture in America is changing in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that America is changing, and hopefully you've noticed this recently, is the way that people tip. Have you noticed the way that tipping has changed in America over the last few months?
What I've noticed is the establishments throw it in your face now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which is, I refuse. I don't refuse, but there's certain coffee places that I'm annoyed with now because I'm not bad. This show is positive. I'm not here to put anybody down. Don't like, you're wanting a tip.
Right.
When you go through this particular coffee place to get coffee, the people that are putting this in, they want a tip. Don't just tell me, oh, make sure read the instructions on the screen.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just tell me, hey, did I give you good enough service today to deserve a tip? I would much rather them say that than throw that in my face. And is it? I don't know if it's passive aggressive is the right word, but do you read what it says on the screen?
Answer this question.
Yeah, that's it. Answer this question. Just tell me, do you want a tip? I'd gladly give you one.
That's what I'm talking about. So nowadays, the more and more places you go, and you're handed I think it's one of the reasons is because we're moving to a more cashless society. You know, everything's paid for by a card, and so when you pay for it by a card, you're handed a tablet, and so what are the cultural rules about tipping? I mean, when do you know when to tip? I mean, what if somebody's working at a counter and all they do is, turn around and get your order? And I mean, today I think that the questions about tipping are a lot more wide open, because used to, if you were sitting down at a table and someone brought you your meal to you, that was considered worthy of a tip. You tip that server. But nowadays it seems like if you go to just a sandwich shop, or you go to even a drive-through maybe, or you go to various places.
Go to McDonald's and you get something. No.
So what's your rule of thumb on tipping? I mean, how do you think we as a culture should handle this?
20%. 20%. If you got great service and you can afford to do more, do more. And the only reason Bridget was my wife. She worked hard. She was in the service industry, and I know what it's like from her. I don't have a full, but I always said 20% is what I try to tip if I go to a sit-down restaurant. If I felt like I got good service, I'll even give more. There's one time I looked in my wallet. I have no idea how it was there, but I had an extra $100 bill, and I got such great service from this young man that I'd already written a tip, and then just something pulled at me and said, "Give him the $100." I didn't even know I had it.
Right.
And the guy started crying and gave me a hug.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I'm a big – now, if you go to a Sonic, if you work at Sonic, I love you, but I'm not hating on you. But I don't give like a 20% tip at Sonic.
Right.
I'll give a little bit, maybe $1, maybe $2.
Yeah.
But typically for me, 20% always minimum at a sit-down restaurant. If I didn't get good service, I still feel guilty about not tipping. It'll typically be like 15%. I never give lower than 15.
Yeah. And used to, the standard was around 15%. But now, from the articles that I've there's an article on this about the changing culture of tipping in America today. And one of the things is that the average amount that's expected at a tip now has moved from 15% now to 20%. And like I said, we live in a culture now where there is tipping more expected at just regular shops, where it's not really a rating of the service, but more of an expectation. And I think it is a difficult path to travel in your mind about, okay, should I tip this person? How much should I tip them? And then you get these questions, and it's almost like a guilt trip whenever they put it before you immediately.
That's the ones I don't like.
Right.
Just tell me you want to tip, and I'll tip you.
Right. So, but I found some information now with the different generations. Who do you think is the most generous generation when it comes to tipping? Who are the best tippers, do you think? What generation do you think?
Well, God rest my dad's soul, but man, Dad would like throw a quarter on the table.
Okay.
And I was like, Dad, it's a little bit more than that these days. And once he started to learn, he gave more. But I don't know. I would say middle-aged people.
Okay.
I would say middle-aged. Definitely
Right.
not young people, and definitely not the older, because the older population was taught to save money.
Right.
During the Great Depression, money was very tight. So I would say, and I may be completely wrong, but I would say middle-aged between 30 and 45.
Okay, well, you hit the nail on the head, because the most generous generation is the Gen X generation, which is our generation. So let's have it right there. The most generous generation, when it comes to tipping, this is the Gen X. Then after that, this may be a surprise to you, but the next highest generation is the millennials. Okay. They're the next highest generation of tippers. Then comes the baby boomers. After the baby boomers.
The baby boomers.
Yeah, that's right. After that is the Gen Z. So the Gen Z, that would be like my kids' age. They're maybe it's just because they don't have any money to give.
I was going to say, that's kind of, it's a little bit tougher.
And then the last is the silent generation. But what I found interesting on the tipping is when you compare that to giving as far as charity and in churches, nonprofit organizations, a lot of these statistics are almost reversed, because our older generations tend to give more when it comes to charity and to churches than the younger generations do. So I thought that was very interesting how the average Generation X person was going to give 20% at a tip, but maybe not near that at a church or to a nonprofit organization.
That makes sense, because my dad always gave back to organizations.
Yeah.
Like and I was like, I'd hear, man, your dad gave a few $100 to this, and I was like, man, I had no clue he did that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's not necessarily a reflection on generosity. It's just the difference in way that they perceive what tipping is for. And I think a lot of the older generation would look at it and say, well, it's based on the amount of service, and so they may not see it. Now, what you said also comes up in this survey. By the way, the survey is by Spot On, and Spot On is an organization that has promoted a lot of these new types of giving that you see on
Way to go, Spot On, because you're spot off.
But what I was going to say is it may not come as no surprise that restaurant workers themselves happen to be the most generous tippers to other people.
So
if you're in the service industry, you typically are more generous than other people. And did you say that you'd ever worked in the service industry?
No, Bridget did though for a while. Yeah, a long time.
Okay. And what I found was interesting is it is kind of an American thing, because when you get outside of America, when you go to Europe, tipping is not nearly as prevalent there. In fact, it's built into the cost of what they are serving, with the food, the restaurant. So if you were to go to a restaurant in Europe and you were to give a tip of 20%, say, it's almost culturally out of touch to give that over there, because they don't tip like that. It's built into the cost of the food or whatever you're getting. And I kind of like that model a lot better, because you don't really think about it. But wouldn't it be a better system if we just paid our wait staff a living wage and they could actually survive on what they got and weren't so dependent upon tips? And I think sometimes it's kind of a shortcut for the restaurant industry to say, hey, we can bring in a lot more staff, a lot more wait staff, and maybe overstaff a restaurant because you're not
paying them $2 an hour.
Yeah, that's not a big cost, and they're dependent upon having enough tips to survive.
I always wondered what Golden Corral paid their employees, because for me, going into a buffet, and I like a good buffet. Grand Buffet's got my middle name in the middle of that place over there. In fact, I wear Grand Buffet right here, and found that out on the basketball court with you guys a couple months ago. That I'm finally out of rehab on that, by the way. I'm good to go. So, but no, it's so weird to think about how all that tipping works. And Golden Corral, I was going to go back to this story real quick. I lost my train of thought, but I just picked it back up. I wonder if they're paid a minimum wage at least, because I get annoyed when I go to a buffet and I can serve myself food, but I can't serve myself a drink. Mm-hmm. And my thought, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but my thought process was maybe they make them serve you the drink so they can pay them a server's wage, and then they're expected to get a tip.
Yeah.
If you're gonna give me a buffet to where I serve myself, let me get up and get my own drink.
Right.
I get real annoyed with it. It's almost a reason for me not to go to a place like Golden Corral. Yeah. Because I'm thirsty. I'll drink 4 or 5 Coke Zeros when I go to those places.
Right.
You're probably thinking that's what's wrong with you, Rob. So, but I'm serious about that. And here, let me ask you this one. I'm going to throw one your way since you brought this up. Do you have a problem going to a place where they automatically include the gratuity, and whether you do or not, do you feel inclined to even give more?
Well, seeing how I have 10 children, when we go to a restaurant,
you leave 9 in the truck.
It's automatically included every single time. I can understand why they do it, because it's such a time-consuming task to serve a large party. It requires so much more. Just being there, and it can limit the amount of tables that you could serve in that amount of time. So they're building into themselves a safety net, so to speak. But sometimes I think that safety net might hurt them, because I think that some people would give above, a greater gratuity than they would actually just include it. But I typically, even when they do include it, I will give more, because it is a great burden to try to especially when a lot of them are kids, because they make such a mess. And I always feel bad about that. So I always try to clean up myself so I don't put such a burden on them. I know it's probably one of the most hardest industries to work in is the service industry, because you're dealing with all different types of people. And so I think the rule of thumb, especially when you're sitting down, is to be as generous as you can, and understand that even when someone the service isn't up to what your standards may be. Maybe they're having a bad day. People are people, and not every day is the same. Maybe they just got dealing with another customer that was just a total jerk to them. And you never know what that person is going through those days, and they're dependent on those. And that's why I don't like the system nearly as much as I would like it in Europe, say, because those people are so dependent upon those tips, and it depends on day to day. The income varies greatly, and depending on what time your shift is, whether you have the lunch shift or the evening shift, all that stuff is a variable to these people's lives. So I think it's important to be as generous as we possibly can.
It's funny talking about the tipping. Full disclaimer, I still watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Longest running cartoon in history, by the way. It's going on 30 plus years. The last episode I saw, it was Homer got on a tipping frenzy. Because he meant to put down a $10 tip.
Yeah.
And he wrote it in a way that it looked like $10,000.
Yeah.
And then he didn't want to go. He's like, what? No. And then everybody was cheering him on, so he decided not to. And he started getting, like, some people are addicted to gambling. He was addicted to tipping. And so everywhere he went, he was just throwing money everywhere. And Marge finally had enough of it. And so he left, and he went to some European village that was in Springfield. And he's like, I love it here. I don't have to tip anymore.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. You already knew this information before
courtesy of The Simpsons.
Thanks to The Simpsons, yes. All right, how much time do we have?
Oh, we got time.
All right, so this is something I brought up to my mother last night. Now, how organized do you think that you are as a person?
Terribly.
You're terribly good at organization?
No, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the absolute best, I would say I'm probably – I don't know if I should tell you this. You're kind of my boss over here. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I would say I'm a 4.
Okay,
4 out of 10.
So I'm not very organized, and I don't come from a long line of great organizers. And in fact, probably ranking somewhere below you is my mother. She loves a good yard sale on the last day of the yard sale when they're practically giving everything away.
Yep.
So the other day I come home and I go up there, and there's a room in her house, and she's got all this what I would called junk laid out there, on the table. Where'd all this stuff come from? Oh, I got it from so-and-so. They were getting rid of some stuff. And I'm like, Mom, the last thing you need is more junk, So I brought this article up to her because this is
she's listening,
by
the way.
Professional organizers. Yeah, good. Maybe this will inspire her. But this is by professional organizers. Now, I didn't know that there was such a thing.
Oh, okay.
But there's actually people that you can hire that will come in to your house and organize you and get you organized. And so this is by professional organizers. These things are 11 things you need to throw out ASAP. All right?
I just saw one and I'm laughing. Go ahead, because I'm guilty of this.
Feel free to comment whenever you want. Number 1 was the vases your flowers came in. So how many people carry around a cabinet or some drawer where they have all these old vases that they've stored up from people that have given their flowers? And the article said, you're never going to use those vases. Throw those vases away.
We have about 15 of them.
Okay, there you
and
go.
a very nice piece of furniture that we probably paid like $1,200 for back in the day. It's one of these little, you put it in kind of the hallway.
Yeah.
And you open it up. It's a wooden piece. And guess what's in it?
Vases.
All vases.
Yeah.
And I told Bridget, and Bridget's very organized, very clean person, but I had enough one day. I said, Bridget, let's get rid of it. She goes, no, we may need them. We haven't touched them, and we've moved them 5. Jason knows we've moved them 5 times. We don't need the sweetheart. We don't need the vases. They're
That's number
a
one.
danger to our children.
Yeah, vases your flowers came in. If you have a whole bin full of those, it may be time to get rid of them. Oh, and by the way, that says that florists will happily take these back so you can recycle them.
Sally keeps all of her vases, by the way.
All right. Okay, the second one was kitchen gadgets. One reason we all have so much clutter is we have too much stuff in general, especially in the kitchen. You don't need an apple core and a mango slicer. They're too big and they take up too much space in the kitchen drawers. Just grab a knife and cut your fruit.
That's a good slogan for a T-shirt. Just grab a knife and cut your fruit.
Yeah. So that's number 2. Number 3, old electronic devices in their boxes. We all have this drawer. The one where we hoard cracked phones, outdated laptops, cords, and boxes that go with electronics that we no longer even use.
Have you been into my office at church lately?
We have this box, and it is full of just random cords, all kind of old iPhone chargers and all kind of stuff. And every now and then, and the kids, when they're looking for a cord, they go in that box, and they're all just like a conglomeration of spaghetti in that box.
You try to get one and the whole ball comes out. I know.
And they never put it back. They bring it out, and then I can say, oh, somebody was looking for a cord today because they never put it back. So that's number 3. And the next one is tote bags. Organizers say it's astounding how many canvas tote bags and reusable grocery bags they find hanging in mudrooms, stuffed in the closets, or lying around musty garages. You don't need that many bags. Edit them down so that you're left with under 5.
It's pronounced bags, by the way.
Okay, all right.
That many bags.
All right. So eliminate them. Instruction manuals, receipts, and other random papers. This says this is a big issue for baby boomers. They have so much paper, old files, receipts, junk mails, instruction manuals clogging up their homes and offices. I was looking at my mother's drawer the other day, and for some batteries, there's one drawer that she usually keeps the batteries in, but you can't even get the drawer open because there's so much old papers and manuals and mail stuck in there that when you go to pull it open, it's stuck all in there. Most of that stuff you can get on the internet nowadays, so you don't need to keep all that. Gift wrapping supplies. We all have a closet for that. Cookbooks. Anything that's past its prime. Now, this surprised me. Here's another one. Tea. It's truly staggering, this one professional organizer says, I have no idea why, but people seem desperate to fill their homes with every imaginable type of tea.
Oh, weird. Yeah, that is weird. Mom, is that you?
Mom has some extra tea, I know.
My mom used to boil tea, by the way, the old school way.
And
I'm not talking like the bags. I'm talking like, I don't know how she did it. I have no idea, but it was really good tea.
Yeah.
We always had tea in the fridge.
Yeah. Did y'all ever do that sun tea? You ever heard of that? Where you put like
She did. You put it outside on the concrete.
Yeah. I remember that when that was a big thing. The next one is extra linens. And the last one, which I was really proud to see, was grandma's china and other sentimental items. In this case, organizers recommended only holding on to pieces that are most important to you. It's always struck me as strange that most of us store the items we deem the most precious in dusty attics, basements, or garages. So when I walked into that, on that table, there was a whole box full of silverware. Mom lives by herself. All she needs is a whole box full of more silverware.
They still have like potatoes and meat on it on the end.
No, this is one of those nice boxes. Okay. It was like silver plated or something. I don't know. She was telling me about it. I was like, Mom, you don't need more silverware.
Well, there you go. J-Bay bringing it today.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Man, this is great. I love this segment because it gets you to start thinking, like Sally was saying, I have too many vases. And as soon as you were reading that, I was like, guilty. Not me, Bridget. So.
We all have stuff we need to clean out.
And it really is dangerous because it's glass and the children, that could hurt them, Bridget. We got to get rid of it. So Well, good stuff today. Hey, I want to remind you we are here at HEB parking lot. Our friend Donnie Smith from Ginsel Heating and Air is here. We'll talk to him a little bit later on this morning and catch up with him. He is one of our hourly sponsors, the 9 a.m. hour. Jason and I, though, we'll wrap it up when we come back. We're going to call our winner, and we want to encourage you. If you got 3 minutes to go, I think we only had one person come by here at 8 a.m., so that one person is going to win jewelry. She had a 100% chance of winning.
All right.
So please come out. Do us a favor. Like this broadcast. Share it. Please come out to the HEB parking lot with all of your non-perishable food items, especially baby diapers, wipes, those kind of things. Cash donation is going to get you. We have a lot of gifts to give away today, and we want to make sure that we just have a tremendous response. I know most people are going to come during their lunch hour, but the best way that you can help us today, maybe you can't come, but you can help us by sharing the message of what we're doing today here at Rays of Hope. We'll take a quick break. We'll have a word from just a few more of our sponsors, and then Jason and I will wrap it up when we come back. This is Thankful Thursday on Good Morning Huntsville, live from the HEB parking lot. A big thanks to First Baptist and Jason Bay for being here with us on Thursday. We'll be right back. Stay with us. More to come as we close it out. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. I wanted to take a brief moment to let you know if you're looking for someone in the jewelry business right here in Huntsville, look no further than my good friend Elliott Herzlich. He's helped me out time and time again, whether it was that wedding band that I needed a while back or that special ring for Bridget. He's always been there for me. He goes above and beyond. He's also a person who gives back to the local community. I like to do business with those who give back, and that's exactly what Elliott Herzlich of Elliott's Jewelers does. Hey, if you feel like you don't know what to do, maybe you don't know where to turn, what to look for, Elliott is the person. Again, it's Elliott's Jewelers. You can visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com for more information. And when you call him, let him know that you heard from his good friend Rob Hipp. Again, it's Rob here for Elliott's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com.
Back at it as we close out here in just a few moments. 9:02 a.m. We'll have Donnie Smith. We'll end this broadcast and we'll reopen a new broadcast. So make sure to stay with us here. That interview with Donnie Smith coming up before too long. He's our 9 a.m. hour sponsor here with the Rays of Hope fundraiser. Hey, today is also the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and that's when just the ultimate selfless sacrifice. So many went during World War II there and stormed the beaches at Normandy during the invasion. My grandfather, George Kimbrough, is on the screen right now. He was the second wave in D-Day. He came off the U-boat, and I remember him telling me stories, Jason, growing up that only 8 in his company survived. And that's why for so many years I thought he was the first wave. But this was the second wave.
Wow.
And my
What a
grandmother,
sacrifice.
man, my grandmother would later tell me that my grandfather's general said, you will not survive this. There's a very high chance that you're not going to come out of here.
Wow.
And I think in a company, and I don't know the military, how it works as far as that. I think there's 150 in a company. Only 8 came out of his company on D-Day. So we want to honor all of those military. And, you know, we're getting close, and I hate to say this, but we're getting close to where I think the last World War I veteran passed away a few years ago that was the last living, and we are getting ever closer. I heard a stat the other day that I think we're down to like 500,000 maybe of World War II.
I heard 1% this morning, 1% of those are left.
Yeah, that's just, you know, to think about it. And we just wanted to make sure, and I'm so glad that, Jason, that you brought that up. It is the 80th anniversary. There's still, I'm sorry, there is 119,550 of the 16.4 million Americans served, which are still alive. This was as of 2023, and each year that's even more. So it's even more than that, but you're right. It's less than 1% of the total.
Yeah.
But wanted to honor my grandfather, George Kimbrough, served in the Army, and many of you out there that had parents too that served, especially during D-Day. He told me a story. I want to say one quick thing about that too. He told me a story that he was trapped, and they had a trench that they had dug. And the Germans were very smart, and there was this German soldier that kept running back and forth throwing grenades to make it seem like there was a bunch of them in there.
Wow.
And my grandpa caught on to it pretty quick and outsmarted him, and he knew that there was only one guy in there, and they got him. Later on, my grandpa would befriend a German POW that taught him how to make fiddles. And so even in the midst of war, there was compassion when two enemies came together and became friends.
What a difficult time in history, but it's also a reminder to us all that the freedoms we enjoy here are not free. They come at a high cost, and I think we as people sometimes forget. That's why things like Memorial Day and D-Day and other Veterans Day, it's just important to stop and remember the sacrifice that so many people willingly make so that we can have the freedom that we have here today. It truly is the greatest thing one can do. That, you know, as the scripture says, this greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. Think about how many laid down their lives for us so that we can have freedom. What a blessing.
Absolutely. And again, we honor all of those D-Day, those that served at Normandy, and those that lost their lives, the ultimate selfless sacrifice on this 80th anniversary of D-Day. Again, Rob Hipp here with Jason Bay as we wrap up our Good Morning Huntsville broadcast this morning. Of course, my computer's deciding to stick on me here for a minute. Let's head over to our Zero Degree Creations phone and text line as we have a winner today. We're giving away some stuff on here, Jason. $25 gift card and a little swag bag.
Yes.
I can't whenever get you to do that. Jason's too nice of a guy, you know.
Something changed in you when you went to North Dakota.
You betcha. Boy, if you don't answer, you don't win.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 9.
Too bad. I was giving away $100,000 this morning.
Yes.
So $100,000 and
free trip to Hawaii.
Free trip to Hawaii, and you lost it. So, have you been to Hawaii?
No, I haven't.
Any desire to go, or not really?
I would like to go. I'd like to go anywhere as long as the price was right.
Hey, man, if there was no price, count me in. You know. Let's get another keyword here. We're taking a second. Boy, I sure hate that person didn't answer. You know, that would have been a pretty good prize here. Hey, this person has won from us before. Let's head back over to the Zero Degree Creations phone and text line. This person, she'll probably come by Raise a Hope today. too. We may just end it.
Good morning.
Yes, who is this?
Jennifer?
Is this Jennifer Augustinetti?
It is.
Ah, Jennifer, congratulations.
Congratulations.
I was going to joke around. I didn't feel like it, Jennifer. I was going to. Are you
I know.
You working right now?
Say that again?
Are you working right now?
I'm in training, yes, but I just stepped away from the computer.
Oh,
See there, you're messing her up.
You always catch me at work or training.
Well, are you going to be able to make it to Raise a Hope today? We'd love to see you. We'll be here till 7.
Yes, I get off at 4.
All right. Well, she was our first person that came through Raise a Hope last year. We did.
Yes, I wish I could have, but yeah, I had to be on camera at 7:30 this morning in training. So I was planning on coming as soon as I get off at 4.
Awesome. Well, on camera, now on the air. So how about that? Well, we got a gift card, and we'll double up your gift when you come. So we can't wait to see you a little bit later, Jennifer.
Definitely, I'll be there.
All right. Well, God bless you. Have a great day.
Y'all too.
All right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I always catch her in the middle of training and stuff. So, well, it's been a fun one today, Jason.
Yes.
Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. Again, one final time, come by the HEB parking lot. We're going to be out here until 7 o'clock tonight as we are accepting items in this donation drive-through. Super easy to get to, by the way. And you can go, if you're doing grocery shopping, do us a favor. Go into the grocery store and get a couple of extra canned goods. If what you bring is $20 value or more, we're talking canned goods, clothing, baby diapers, lotions, any of that. Toiletries, we'll accept all of that. $20 value or more, we'll give you a Raise a Hope t-shirt. We'll also give you a swag bag. And if you give $20 cash or more, we're going to enter you into our hourly raffles. By the way, Paula Armstrong, I believe, was the winner this past hour. So
tell them where all this stuff goes, Rob.
Yeah, it goes 5 different, and this is why we need folks to show up, because last year we did this. It worked out great. We've partnered with 5 area nonprofits, including Safe House, Good Shepherd Mission, Care Center Huntsville, HISD Social Services, as well as Tomorrow's Promise Montessori School, specifically the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Gift cards to Tom Fullery's would be really good for HISD Social Services. Sally Dowis and Juanita, they're always looking to take the kids places. She even said gift cards to Cinemark and the movies, those kind of places would be great. So any of that would be wonderful. And then we're also going to help out 3 families. The Peak family, we were out there
everything.
And literally lost their home. Most importantly, they were okay.
Yeah.
But the Peak family, the Smith family, as well as the McAdam family, we want to help all of them out.
Yes.
So that is kind of, Josie's heading out. She's going to come back in a little bit. But that's kind of, what we're doing, and please come out and be a part of it today.
That's right.
Well, Jason, appreciate you.
All right, brother.
I may not be at work today.
No problem. You're going to be working right here.
Make it up on Friday, man. So we'll be here. We want to invite you out. Come out and be a part of it. That'll wrap it up here with this edition of Good Morning Huntsville, a special edition on our Thankful Thursday. We'll take a quick break, and when we we're not going to take a break. We're going to end the broadcast, and then we'll be back on in about 5 minutes with our friend Donnie Smith of Genzel Heating and AC. He'll be hanging out with us here in a little bit. As I end every broadcast, reminding you this morning that we're truly not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We do need each other. Please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. We'll see you. We'll be here all day at HEB until 7 tonight. That'll wrap it up, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Have a good one. Thanks, brother.